Hi, good afternoon. I'm David Bilsborough and Callum Robinson, my colleague, is behind the video. So many thanks, Callum, for coming down today. We're going to do some short, intuitive videos. And the very first one, or the second one actually, is on this beautiful Misano Blue Z4 3-litre M Sport. What a car this one is, as you can see, hopefully. So on this car, we purchased the car directly from the owner. Private owner. We do a lot of purchasing. Callum networks with owners on behalf of the business and helps me to find the cars, and we negotiate with the owners on condition. So we're very pedantic about the condition. So what we do is a series of questions before we even book the train or book the transport to go and see the car and inspect it and drive it. Once we've done the initial asking the questions, then we'll make the arrangements to go and view the car and inspect it. So when we get there, as well as looking down, sort of bending down and looking down the car, we also have a clever piece of equipment, which is a paint depth reader. And this is used by professionals to measure the thickness of panels. So it's measuring the lacquer and the paint finish and the primer. And each manufacturer has sort of a recognised level of paint and lacquer. Sometimes that can be affected by high quality lacquer. The better the quality of the lacquer, the higher the shine and the finish. So on a BMW, we'd expect it to read about 110 to 120, 130 on this reader here. So at the moment it's showing 1500 because I've simply turned it on. So when we touch the bonnet here, for example, that will tell us that that paint thickness is 118. And we go down slowly, and we wanted to see continuity. And the reason we give it 3 different points of touch is that if someone has had the car painted, scratched, and it was painted, they may just try and blend, although it'd be very, very difficult on this size of bonnet, but they could just blend an area. So we always use 3 touch points. So for example, we come around here and we'll measure just there. Now that's 124, and if you remember, the first touch point was 118, and we measure it quite close to the edge, because sometimes when you paint a car like this, because of the complexity of the paint finish, it's Misano Blue again, by the way, it's a very intricate paint finish, and you may have to go into another panel. So we always touch both edges of panels. And there you go, continuity again of paint. And we'll go into the middle and we do the same, repeat the process. There will be some variance, but it is going to be very light, and it's when the robots paint the car, they paint it almost in a mist from above and the paint falls down. And you really get more paint thicknesses usually on the bigger panel, like a bonnet, where it's open to receive more paint. You should have a slightly higher reading on the bonnets and the roofs. Obviously this is the soft top and we have the roof down. So you can do that through the machine there, but we also use our eyes to look, and we're looking for dents, scratches, any signs that we may have missed. So we're very careful. We open the doors, for example, and if Callum can just come around to the door edge here, and we sort of run our fingers on the door edge, and what we're looking for is any sort of lines, any feeling of the car not being smooth, like an icing. When you ice a Christmas cake, for example, you get an edge on it. We also go inside the door here, and we look the telltale signs of any paintwork on the rubbers here, and again we just feel it. And the same under the wheel arch, we're feeling it, and we're looking at the trim here. If this was masked off and painted, we'd expect to see paintwork attached to the trim. I know it sounds horrific, but there isn't any. But sometimes you'll get a very fine line of paint where they've taped it up and then just pulled it off. So we are looking to make sure that we can certify the vehicle's provenance. Provenance to us, as Callum will testify, is so important. And so we tend to go much more in depth than some people. There are some dealers that would do the same thing as we do. We don't compromise. we treat every single car, no matter what price point the car is at the same diligence levels. And of course, we're looking at tyres, we're looking at alloy wheels, we're looking at gaps here, making sure the gaps that we're happy with meet up nicely. And we would lift the bonnet up, we would look at the bolts and fixings under here to make sure there was no signs of movement, so someone's put a socket on it. Obviously we look at the windscreen, we look at the service history. So we go through a lot of information, but we do it in a set process, and we will walk away from a car if we're not happy and there's not a justifiable reason, or we may not have been told the truth, sadly, then we will walk away. So in the years that we've been delivering cars, we haven't yet ever had to bring one back. So 70% of cars like this will be sold based on our videos, on our reviews and our social media channels, and we deliver them to the person, the buyer's home. He or she will look around the car, drive the car possibly, although would you believe not everyone drives, they're just so excited when they see the car. But they're welcome to do that, and then it's a bank transfer and we go away, and we've never ever had to as yet ever bring one back, which is some record. We've been going almost 28 years, and Callum, if you dealt with Callum, when Callum finds vehicles for us, he works on our behalf, he will go through the same process, including we have a form, a document which we send out to the seller, and we ask them to read through the form. Those are our terms and conditions, and they must agree with those before we go any further. So we make everything abundantly clear, what we will and what we won't accept. So when you choose a car, see a car from Cheshire Cars, you can have that absolute 100% reassurance that the car will be looking like this, because the other side of the process, when we've got the car back, is spending probably 2 to 3 days preparing the car to the standard you see here. We don't make any compromises, and if Callum can come back into the car, maybe show people, Callum, just the interior of that vehicle, if you want to just show them around the cockpit of the Z4. That is the standard of how we prepare the vehicles inside and outside. It's got these lovely M-style seat belts. It has a visibility pack. It has the projection of the steering wheel, of the speedometer into the windscreen. It's a technology pack. It's got comfort access. So on the doors here, you can touch them, the car will lock. And we've also going to show you before we sign off just how easy it is to close the roof, because you can do that on the key. You can hold the key and it will put the roof up. Okay, so we're now going to demonstrate to you on this Z4. Not all Z4s have the capacity to do this, but you have the remote key and you want to put the roof up without starting the engine. You can do that off the remote key. You simply press and hold the lock button on the key, like so. And as you can see now, the roof mechanism is going into the closed position. You're pressing and holding the key, don't release the key. The windows will go up. How wonderful is that? Isn't that nice? And that will impress your friends and neighbours and work colleagues, I'm sure. So you've managed to lock that, lock the car as well as putting the roof up. And to unlock the car, you would do it in reverse. So you would just go press and hold the open. And you should see the roof coming down. There you go. All done. That bleep is telling you the whole process is complete. It's only available on cars that have been specified with the Comfort Access, Comfort Plus, which is the access to open the doors. It automatically gives you the facility to do that to the roof. So that's our Z4. It is available now from us in Crewe in Cheshire, www.cheshire-cars.co.uk. It's available with about 60 images. We have got another video of about 10 minutes in length, although I don't do the roof. I was doing that without Callum's help. Now that we've got two of us, we're just doing a little bit more to demonstrate some of the features of this beautiful Misano blue Z4 3 litre I M Sport. I think it's 2000 and let me just have a look. 21, yes, 11,000 miles. It's incredible. 11,000 miles. It's just had a service at BMW in Crewe, so there's no need for a service. It's been done. It's under warranty with BMW until next, I think it's June. So we have 2 key fobs, of course, and I'm going into sales mode, and that's not the intention of the video, so stop it, David. Thank you, Callum, for the video. He will be producing this and we'll be able to show everyone just how nice and wonderful this car is. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.